Do, 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 do. Straight up now, tell me, do you really wanna love me forever? Or are you just having fun? Oh, got something really disturbing to talk to you guys about today. I'm going to wait for the potential notifications to go out, please, Susan. And then I'm going to bring it up. This is something that will not only disturb me, and I apologize for not doing our my typical welcoming as the names pop up here in the chat, but this is something that's really bothersome, and it's something I need to get off my chest. And I'm sure many of you are not even aware that this egregiousness took place. And when I explain it all to you, I think you guys will be as distraught, as saddened, and as motivated to make a change as am I. All right, well, here it is. I don't know if any of you saw, but just recently, I believe it was today, maybe yesterday, just recently, the sexiest man alive for 2020 was named. And it was not me again. The hell? How is that possible? How did they're doing recounts in the presidential election in swing states? Who gives a crap about that? Let's talk about what's important here. I got hosed. There's no way that ballot count was accurate for sexiest man alive. Who did win it this year? Michael B. Jordan. Listen, I got nothing against Michael B. Jordan, but come on. Well, here, I just to show you guys how ridiculous it was. This for those of you who don't know, this is Michael B. Jordan. This. Now look at it, right next to each other. Right next to each other here. You got this over here and this right here. And that's the sexiest man alive? This isn't? This? What a miscarriage of justice. I can't believe the world continues to spin. You know what? I'm sorry. I got to take that picture down. I can't believe the world continues to spin. So somebody explain to me how that happened. Oh, because he took off his shirt? Ooh. He took off his shirt? Ooh. Oh, Michael, you took off your shirt. Yeah? Well, I didn't want to have to break out the big guns. Now, I apologize because my white balance gets all screwed up if I take off my shirt because I am like really, really white. Now, what you just saw as opposed to this. Come on. Michael B. Jordan versus this. Do you know how many quarter pounders it took to create this physique? It's a travesty. An absolute travesty. And I don't want any of you to stand for it. I'm going to try and go on. And you know, in life, there's always going to be ups and downs. But sometimes, when you've been wronged so desperately, when it's so obvious that the powers that be are out to get you, that the man is keeping me down, it's difficult to move on. But move on we will. So, how you guys doing? Let's see. Firewall Dragon says, what is the quickest way to stop an argument between a bunch of deaf people? Turn off the lights. Oh, that's so wrong. Oh. See? And Marty knows. I believe you are the most sexiest man alive. Come on. See, you You guys understand what I'm going through, Mr. Badlands. I see. Thank you. And Jayhawk busted. So, which is understandable. I apologize for any messes I've created. But come on. And Michael B. Jordan seems like a good dude. You know, all the interviews with him I've seen and everything, he really seems like an all right guy. But what he should do is the right thing. I mean, I don't hold it against him. He's not in charge of the voting. He's not in charge of whoever toyed with the voting. But what he should do is he should just, come over to my house and say, listen, bro, I'm sorry that you got screwed in the election, and give me the award. There was an award given out, right? It was actual hardware exchange. He should give it to me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's not Michael B. Jordan's fault. But if he wants to do right, he should be here before the end of the stream. Yeah, Diamond Dog says, I'm sure Trump can help you fight this. Yeah. Well, he's got all those lawyers working on election irregularities anyway. So let's redirect some of that over to a real and true tainted ballot. The man just wants to keep me down. That's all there is to it. I'm just saying. Who should concede? Not me. No cheap jump scare? No, not me. I shouldn't concede. I was screwed in the voting. There's no question. Dragon says, during the pandemic lockdown, everyone came home. Even my father finally came home with that pack of cigarettes he went out to get 30 years ago. The old pack of cigarettes or the quart of milk. Yeah. I'm just going down to the convenience store, honey. Well, I don't know. I feel much better now having been able to unburden myself with all that to sympathetic ears here and sympathetic eyes, which I may have just burned out of skulls. But I just don't get it. I thought for sure this was my year. I was positive it was. I knew it was going to be this year. Damn it. I think, Corrupted Cord says, damn you, Susan. I'm not sure why, but I agree with that. Whatever the case may be, yes, I agree. I missed Super Chat. Did I, Wolverine? Thank you. I may not have gone back up high enough. No, I don't think so. I got Dragon's argument between deaf people. I think Dragon's been the only one in so far. And pack of cigarettes. Yeah, we're good. Hello, my name is Goose Goose. Max does stuff, says. Curtis, thoughts on possibly James Harden to the Nets rumors? Nets could be loading up. Nets could be a contender. My Bucks are trying to make a play too, because they if I remember correctly, they basically told Giannis, hang with us and we'll build what you need around you. So yeah, Nets could be building something pretty special there. Baboon with a sniper rifle says, I still have a boner. I apologize for that. I mean, that's a byproduct of having to so eloquently state my case, and by eloquently I mean with the visuals of Sexiest Man Alive. Fuck off, train. What do you think about Escalade so far? Our boy Escalade. CDV. That's a really, really good series. That is so gritty, and so real. When we get into something where, we're not dealing with any type of otherworldly abilities or anything, and it's just hardcore badass sword play, and yeah, that's good stuff. Really good story too. Bob Jones says, "Daddy is sexy." Well, thank you. And I think I think that's a lot of it too. Michael B. Jordan got Sexiest Man Alive because of the whole sexy thing. And I know, okay, it's in the title of Sexiest Man Alive, but come on, we don't have to be literal about everything. Jeez. Lix, I would tend to agree with you. Lix says, I'm very upset about this. I'm not sure sure who this Michael B. Jordan fellow is, but he seems like a horrible thief of a man. And in fairness, I don't blame him for the obviously corrupted voting. My issue is that he hasn't even reached out to me. It's obvious. It's obvious what happened. It's obvious that, somebody in his camp was somehow able to get their fingers into the voting. Okay? And so that's not on him, but why hasn't he reached out? He should have stopped by my house and said, "Bro, we all know what happened here," and he should have given me the trophy. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes when you just got to man up in those situations and admit that a little hanky-pinky went on. God damn it. Since I haven't dried up yet, probably won't for the rest of the week. Gonna need a bucket, Jack Queen. You guys are funny. Thanks. Earth Animates, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't like to indicate that I'm not, sexual perfection here or anything, but I got a mustache hair sticking at a cockeyed angle or something. Curtis is the sexiest baldy alive. Well, thank you, Michael. I knew you guys would understand. Hi, Mr. Rob. Well, again, it makes me feel better to know that all of you you agree with me that the whole thing with Trump and trying to find irregularities enough to that there was some sort of foul play afoot in the counting of the ballot. It's ridiculous in his case. Come on, you lost. It's over. And I voted for Trump, but it's over. You lost, dude. My case is obvious. I mean, that's my case is similar to an Epstein didn't kill himself. We all know that's the case. I won the sexiest man alive, not Michael B. Jordan. We all know that's the case. Now it's just a matter of, if not proving it, for Michael B. Jordan to be the bigger man. Although I don't know, you can get bigger than this. To be the bigger man and just come out and admit that there was something untoward about the whole situation. Diamond Dog says, first year I've seen no Santa at the shopping center. Santa must be in lockdown. Isn't that sad? I mean, obviously there's so much sadness around the pandemic, obviously. But I mean, sometimes it's the little things like that too, though, that really hit you when you don't see the mall Santas out this year and stuff. It just, yeah. I'm not the first to say it, but I'll reinforce it. 2020 sucks ass. Kiva says, in a battle between Colonel Sanders, mutated squid chickens, and the Burger King's army of giant cow soldiers, who wins? Ooh, mutated squid chickens are a badass force to be reckoned with, but the giant cow soldiers, man, they're crazy. That's like a whole crew of guts from Berserk. Yeah, I gotta stay with the giant cow soldiers. Gotta. Exactly, Unis. Epstein didn't kill himself, and I did not lose sexiest man alive once again. I completely agree. Kyle Cruz says, Trump sounds like a first grader who lost at recess trying to whine about how the other cheated. Yeah, and the thing of it is, too, it's over, dude. And I think that any irregularities at all in our election processes should be thoroughly investigated. And there were some irregularities there, but you guys know I'm a politics nerd. I read up on that stuff all the time. It was isolated incidents. Shouldn't have happened. I think people are going to be fired for it as well. They should. But it's not enough to have changed the election. And that's what you should be concerned with if you're filing, if you're taking this through the courts. It's over. Dude, you lost. Concede. It's over.
Oh, yeah.
Demonic Jester says, you would have won if you did the party boy dance. Oh, I don't know about that. Cheap Jump Scare says, Michael B. Jordan fingered the ballot boxes. Well, in fairness, I think somebody on his behalf did. Yeah. Cheap Jump Scare. And I think Michael B. Jordan should be actively looking into who in his camp did such a thing and take proper action. For any of you just joining the stream, if you scroll back to the beginning within the first couple minutes, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The absolutely egregious error that occurred that the man kept me down once again this year. Brian says, well, if you calculate all the employees that Santa works around the North Pole, it makes sense. He's just doing his best to keep us safe. True. Good point, Brian. Good point. You got massive factories going on up there. Who knows? I don't even know. Can the virus be transmitted human to reindeer? I mean, there's so many questions about all that. You're right. He's probably just doing the right thing. Let's see. I've DM'd you on Patreon for details, but the Discord help channel has been moved. Still thinking about your moves. They looked right through me. Well, they do have this searing gaze. Yeah, I won't get into all that here, Jack. That was I was contacted about that earlier, but I'll get to you on the Patreon chat about that. Lex says, for anyone just joining the stream, maybe go back in the vid a bit if you feel like coming to that. Well, Lex, we don't want people all emaciated and stuff. I mean, it was pretty. It was sad that I had to go to those extremes to prove my case, but sometimes when you've been so egregiously wronged, you have to pull out all the stops, pull out all the butt plugs, as it were. Jake says, the fast food restaurant map has my state favorite fast food is Jollibee. What is that one? Which we have a total of 0 of an entire state. Doesn't that figure? For those who just coming in, we didn't even get to that yet. I was so hung up on, the horrific thing that happened to me in the Sexiest Man Alive balloting. But yes, I want to talk about that today too. I want to talk about what are not only your favorite fast food joints, but which fast food joints make you want to vomit just being in their vicinity. Because unfortunately, fast food is a way of life for most of us because it is just what it is. It's fast food. It's convenient. It's easy. That's how I end up eating it a lot of time. It's not like your first selection. It's just that you're out doing stuff. You got, you don't have a lot of time. It's so easy to just rim through the drive-through and let that little redheaded bitch at Wendy's slap you a couple burgers or something. It's just too much easier. But I'm curious, which ones are your favorites? Okay, if you're gonna eat fast food and you have your choice of any, I mean, you're in that moment where fast food's the only thing you got for dinner, and they're all there. Which one are you gonna have? And then let's talk about the ones that make you sit on the toilet all night as well. Jelly Bean, I seen that here in New York. Oh, we have them here, Felipe? Because I'm in upstate New York, as you know. So are you in the city, Felipe? Because I don't think I've ever seen a Jollibee. Or I don't remember if I did. I don't even know what it is. What type of food is it? Burgers? Huh. I'm surprised. I've never heard of it. McDonald's? McDonald's and Jaden, McDonald's used to be among the top for me in the fast food joints. And yeah, not no more. The others have just, McDonald's has like stayed the same for me as far as I'm concerned, and the others surpassed it. The others stepped up their game. Now McDonald's is like, for me, is only when there's nothing else, or when it's just too convenient to not go someplace else. It's the only time I go. And the only reason that happens is because it is the closest fast food joint to me. It's a significant drive to any of the others, and McDonald's is just across the bridge, just across the two bridges, the river and the railroad tracks here where I live, and the others are in a whole other community. And a lot of times, I'll make the drive rather than eat at McDonald's. Dragon says, my favorite fast food joints are a tie between Steak and Shake and Raising Cane's. I don't know that one. Steak and Shake, I've had a total of once, and it was delicious, Dragon. Where the hell was I?
Yeah.
I think I was down in the city. I was either down in New York City or I was over in Jersey on a trip that I went to the city. I can picture the Steak and Shake, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I was. If it was in a mall or what. But yeah, long story short, Steak and Shake was really good. Yes, was excellent. I've only had it the once, and I would definitely go back. I haven't had that yet, Ty. Wendy's pretzel burger is probably my favorite. That kind of was fascinating to me, that whole pretzel roll thing, because I love pretzels. I might have to. Boy, you might have motivated me for dinner today. Wendy's is on my more favored list, if for no other reason that when I am trying to eat right and everything, if I have to go to fast food, I'll grab a grilled chicken sandwich, and theirs is the best, I think. Wendy's for me, of the fast food joints I've been to, their grilled chicken sandwich is the best one. McDonald's is gross. Their grilled chicken sandwich, it's slimy. I thought, first couple times I ordered it, I thought maybe I just got a bad one or something, but that's it's like it just slimes the whole bun. It's like something out of Ghostbusters. And the taste, I'd say it's like eating ass, but eating ass can be fun. Eating a McDonald's grilled chicken sandwich is not. Spaz Dev says Wendy's pretzel burger is great. All right, now you guys got me interested in that. I gotta check that out. Oh, for those of you who were with me on the stream, we didn't get to stream yesterday, but the stream Monday, those steaks I had for dinner that night, they were good. They were really good. For those of you who weren't here, my wife was cooking these couple of steaks, and there was a story behind it because I was doing the grocery shopping. I'm in the store, and I went over looking for different meats for dinners, and I saw these steaks, and they're like, oh, that looks delicious. I mean, they were really exceptional. So I grabbed a couple packages of them, but as I did, I looked at the price, and I went, yeah, well, I hope whoever can afford them actually enjoys them. And I put them back. But they look so good. It was actually, because food is, forefront of my mind most of the time, as I'm doing my shopping, I'm like, God damn it, I really want those steaks. So I went back against my better judgment and bought them. So I was going to be really, really pissed off they weren't good, but I have to admit they were exceptional. They were great. And there was one steak left over, so I got to eat it for lunch on Tuesday, so it made me doubly bonerifically happy. Kiva says, Baconator for life. Viva la Bacon Revolucion. See, bacon, for being a fat guy, bacon's an oddity for me in that I like bacon, but it's not a big deal to me.
Yeah.
It's even something that when we go out for breakfast and stuff, it's not even one of my favorite breakfast meats. I'll usually get the ham or sausage first. So I know typically for a fat guy such as me, bacon should be a really big deal, but it's not that big a thing to me, bacon. But listen, I ain't turning it away. It's delicious. If it's on a burger, I'll eat it. Dragon says Raising Cane's is a great fried chicken joint that started here in Louisiana. Yeah, I'd never heard of that one. Well, there are a few in other states, primarily here. Yeah, I like fried chicken. Fried chicken's one of those things, that's one of those old man things I got, though, now. Fried chicken is still delicious, but it's always a hit and miss type thing. Sometimes I'll eat fried chicken, and then my stomach goes, you fucking dummy, and it really makes me pay, but it's worth it. And it's not all the time. It's like maybe 20% of the time. It's kind of like a fast food version of Russian roulette. In bacon we trust. Yes, Reverb. Telephoto says, why does the smell of Subway always got my nose excited, but the taste doesn't match the smell? Interesting, and I was wrong, actually. I'm glad you brought up Subway, Telephoto, because I said McDonald's is the closest to me. Subway actually is. We had a Subway open up here a few years ago, and I completely agree with that sentiment. It does. You go, because that one is just, you guys, none of you can miss it. Hear the train here all the time. Subway sits right directly next to the tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, their driveway borders the railroad tracks. It's right there, so it's not far from my house. And same, you'll go by and it smells really good, and then you go in. The bread is good. I'll give them that. The bread is good. But to be honest, the sandwiches are okay. But considering that Subway is one of the more expensive places around, I don't think there were. See, to me, with food, it's all about value versus quality. I don't mind paying extra for a good meal if the food is of high quality. By the same token, I don't care to overpay for something that's just meh. And to me, Subway is just meh. And they don't charge you meh prices. Oh, Whataburger patty melt is addicting, JC says. I've had Whataburger. We don't have any Whataburgers around us, but I have had it. And of course, you guys know me, I ain't eating the patty melt because as soon as you start talking about cheese, I'm out. So, but I have had their burgers, and yeah, the burgers were good. Haven't had Whataburger in ages though. Diamond Dog says it's a bigger injustice. I've just checked. You're not ranked #1 best wrestler of all time. Stone Cold has done you bad too. Jesus Christ. Can things get any worse?
Yeah.
Who voted on that? I would whoop Stone Cold's ass. I've had years ago, guys. You made me think of this, Diamond Dog. A friend of mine, his son was just. It was early on in John Cena's WWE run, and he was just a fanatic for John Cena. So one time I went over to his house or something, and his son was there, and I was still wrestling a regular schedule. I said, "So you like John Cena, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Did you ever wrestle him?" I said, "No, I haven't." I said, "I've never met him." But I said, "Oh, Jack's Stream Boss." I didn't even catch that. I haven't.
Yeah.
I said, "But," I said, "Here's," and this was true. I said, John Cena used to wrestle in the small federations and the indies. And I said, there was a guy there who had beaten John Cena a couple times. And I just recently beat that guy. So that means I could whip John Cena's ass. And this kid, I thought this kid was going to beat me up. He was probably 5 or 6 at the time, and he was ready to fight. His eyes got, he got the Thorfinn look there. The kid that's all psycho and you know it. He was going to jack me up. I backed down. I was a bitch. I was like, no, it doesn't mean that at all. I'm sorry. Crispy chicken and bacon sandwich from BK is bomb.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
I haven't given, as far as my favorites, it's interesting you bring up BK. I have to quantify it. If it's a one-time thing, and it's like Spaz Kid and I are out doing something and we got to grab fast food, my favorite place for a one-stop fast food joint is Arby's. I'm assuming that's roast beef or roast beef like whatever they put in those sandwiches, but I don't give a shit because it's delicious. And that's my favorite. Now, if it were, I was going to have to eat fast food on the regular, then my favorite would be Burger King because they have a bigger variety of stuff with my limited taste that I like. I like their chicken sandwich. I like their burgers. I like those chicken fries they have. They have a ton of different things I like there. So it all depends on if we're talking a one-time only or a regular thing. But again, Subway, way overpriced. McDonald's kind of sucks ass. And I've also noticed too, for me lately, and I don't know if this is true for you guys as well. It could just be my region. But the staff, the crew members at Wendy's and Burger King kick the crap out of the ones at McDonald's we have here locally. At McDonald's, it's always like, all right, I got to be here anyway. I'll get you some food if you need it. And for whatever reason, Burger King and Wendy's are like, they're really always upbeat and happy and just shockingly make it a pleasant experience. Kiba says you can eat with one anime character who you're dining with. I'm eating with Fat Boo. We can turn the check into candy so we don't have to pay. Good call. And you get more candy. I mean, that's just as good as not having to pay. Eat with one anime character? Well, if we're not talking a dinner date, because you got people like, I'm going to pick people like Nico Robin or Merlin, or someone just to look at them while we're eating. If we're taking that element out of it, then yeah, that's Fat Boo's not a bad call. I would have to say Luffy though, because with Luffy there, he's all about eating the meat, and I like to eat the meat, and I that's meat and bread, my favorite foods, and I could do it, and for once I wouldn't be the biggest glutton in the restaurant or at the meal. So I'll go with Luffy. Gerardo says, I just turned 18 on Monday, and first thing I see when I get on your stream is you without a fucking shirt. I'll take that as a birthday present. Indeed, Gerardo, it is. It's a birthday present to you. It's like, on my 18th birthday, I saw something that I'll never forget, and actually my vision hasn't been too good since then. I think it burned my retinas. M says, I will say McDonald's fries are bomb, though. They're the only things I'll eat from there if I ever go. I agree that the fries are the best part of McDonald's. Yeah, I'm with you completely on that, M. Although they used to be my favorite fries, and they aren't anymore. The others have, their fries are entirely different, but they've stepped up because Burger King's years ago, Burger King's fries I don't think were good, and they changed the recipe on them some years ago, and I like them just as much as McDonald's. The only thing I can say about McDonald's and I agree with M on that, every once in a while they just sound really good. Like just going to get a large fry at McDonald's sounds like a good idea. So that I'll give McDonald's.
Yeah.
The sandwiches though, the quarter pounders, just pure grease, too much for me to enjoy it. The burgers are more bread than meat. Like I said, the grilled chicken sandwich makes me want to puke. It's too bad because McDonald's used to be my favorite. And now we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Taco Bell. I enjoy Taco Bell but I get everything plain, so I eat plain burritos. I love tortilla shells, and I love the burrito or taco meat. And so that's what I get. However, because it's just that little bit of spice in it, and I'm a complete pussy when it comes to any type of spices, after I eat it, my commode cringes in fear, as well it should, after I eat Taco Bell. Dragon says, I went to a McDonald's regularly for a while where the staff was always arguing with each other. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Dragon. At least around me, the McDonald's is by far the worst for the customer service. They just, again, their whole attitude is like, all right, you're here. I guess I'll do what I'm supposed to do and get you some food. Whereas, at least in our region, Burger King and Wendy's, both places, they're not only are they polite, they're really fast in getting out there, and it's always, hey, have a nice day, and blah blah blah, and chat to you while they're going about business, and can I get you anything else, and just entirely different. Chief Jump Scare says, favorite places are Subway, Popeyes. Worst is KFC, messes me up. Oh, KFC. Well, I was talking about how fried chicken gets to me sometimes. Bugs my constitution. And yes, KFC is the number one villain when it comes to that. Yeah. Every so often now I eat Kentucky Fried Chicken, and in fairness, it's only as I've gotten older. But yeah, it kicks the shit out of my stomach. But Subway is overrated to me. Popeyes is good. We don't have one right close to us. We have one down in Albany. But Popeyes is good. I like them. Again, same thing with the chicken though. Also Google Tar Baby Pancakes, real restaurant that was open until last December. Oh no. Tar Baby Pancakes? Who the fuck thought that was a good idea for a name? Oh God, that's awful. That's just terrible. Ty says, I was at Subway once and one of the employees put aluminum foil in the microwave. Hiring only the best and the brightest. That employee probably went on to become one of the voters in the Sexiest Man Alive competition.
Oh, yeah.
Wolfpaw says, the BK where I live, they always get my order wrong. Really, Wolfpaw? See, I'm the opposite. Mine is always wrong at McDonald's and rarely wrong at Burger King. And again, I order my burgers and everything plain. You would think that's the easiest thing to do. But apparently it is not. Because it doesn't matter how many different ways I say it when I go through the drive-thru. I want whatever, if it's at McDonald's, I'm getting a meal there. I want a quarter pounder, plain, no cheese, just meat and bun, please. I say all of those things. And they'll say quarter pounder, plain. Yes, no cheese. Okay. You leave and that nasty ass, gross, smelly, shitty American cheese is slapped on there anyway. Taco Bell more like diarrhea. Yeah, I'm with you, multi-gamer. And that's not even necessarily ripping on Taco Bell because it's not their fault that my constitution can't handle that type of food, but it's worth it. So Jill has become Spaz Jill. Next post, please. He says, I used to work at McDonald's. I did too when I first started working, not too long ago. It's a really stressful job and you're only getting paid minimum wage. A lot of people leave because it's not worth the stress. Oh, no. I understand that. But my point is, you're getting similar pay at Burger King and Wendy's, and I don't understand why the employees are so different. Yeah, but I know what you mean. When I was first starting out in the workplace when I was 16, that's where I
Oh,
worked was McDonald's. I worked at
yeah.
McDonald's and I worked at I lived in California at the time, so I worked at Carl's Jr. as well. Yeah, no, I understand the pay rate sucks and everything, but that's why it surprises me, at least here locally, why the other places are able to get employees that are just, like I say, next level, go out of their way, it seems, to be really decent. Dragon says, I will give that staff credit for one thing. With all their arguing with the amount of kids in there, I never heard them cuss once. Really? Well, that's good, because I can't say that's been something I've heard a lot of, but I have been in fast food joints where, although the one time I'm thinking of specifically, it was a
Oh,
McDonald's, and I was the only one in
yeah.
there. And just from the conversation I'd been having with the kids that were working there, I think they were pretty confident that I wasn't going to be offended by a swear word. Yeah, I know. But in my mind says, let's go get a stack of tar babies. Yeah, no. Yeah, I can't believe that ever flew at any point as the name of a restaurant. Hey, Kiba Stream Boss. And Kiba says, before I go, I need to know if you'll react to Gohan Verse by Daito Madachi. It's very funny, and believe it or not, they made Zamasu kind of likable. Again, that's. I have no idea if I would be reacting to something like that. It's out of the blue. You know what? Anime Clips, good to have you. I certainly don't have any plans on it right now, especially with getting into Meat Canyon as much as I have, and I would like to watch some more of our boy Griffey. Uh, so no, I don't have any plans on it. Because whenever I go into something different like that, then there's the whole process of trying to determine if the creator is cool with the reaction videos and everything. So no plans. Wolfpaw says the BK here, not only do they get more orders wrong, half the time they're rude. Really? That's too bad. That's too bad because our Burger King is excellent around here. Chick-fil-A is amazing food and service. I get Chick-fil-A very rarely. Now that's a hell of a travel for me. There's none right around me. But yes, I of the chicken places, they are my favorite. And well, we all know because we're all RDC, or most of us are RDC World 1 fans, so we know about Chick-fil-A's customer service. Hold on, make sure I did miss anybody. Okay. M says, uh, paying for you to call at Jack Queen old as it's his birthday. Jack, it's your birthday? Happy birthday, you old fart, you. it's always, M, it's just so,
Oh,
it rings so hollow, me
yeah.
calling someone old. Especially when I'm doing this where I have a monitor in front of me of my face on the stream, and it's like, yeah, this shouldn't be calling anybody old, but I'll do it anyway. But happy birthday, Jack. Dimmy says, first job was Family Dollar. In the hood, pure trauma. Oh, I can imagine, Dimmy. Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing of it is, we have we have Family Dollars around, we have Dollar Generals around, and a lot of times they have, just where they're located, they have a lot of issues in the stores, most notably a lot of shoplifting,
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of it, a lot of having to try and prevent shoplifting. Yeah, so I can imagine, Dimmy. Jesus Christ. M says yes. Call him old and dying. Dying too. I mean, in fairness, we're all dying. Just some of us are closer to it than others and getting there quicker. Downward says, I worked at my Taco Bell for a bit. and it blew my mind how dedicated everyone was to giving their best effort and making sure everything was correct. That's cool. I guess maybe I'm thinking that especially with what
Oh,
Downward's saying there too, maybe kind of think about
yeah.
that. Maybe it's just luck of the draw. You know, where you happen to be, just what type of employees happen to work at the local restaurants. Now, our Taco Bell, I don't go there as often as the others because there's the whole exploding my toilet thing. But now that I think back on it, yeah, I've never had any issues with rude employees there. They didn't never stood out to me as much as Burger King and Wendy's here locally do. But they certainly have never been rude. And I take that back. And I know one time the one lady who worked there, I think she was a shift manager or something. She went really out of her way because again I get everything plain, so I just have taco meat in a tortilla shell. And she went out of her way to to put it through the order through to where I was paying the least for it and getting the most food, and then she went back and she was helping them make it, and I know she was slapping a lot of extra meat on there and like meat. So yeah, so I guess when I think about it, my experiences there have been good. Kaiser says, "Is Wendy's good? In Ireland, I haven't seen any in my life. We have this own franchise called Eddie Rockets. It's designed like a 1950s diner. The barbecue chicken wings are kick-ass." Really? Is that? I wonder if that's like. It seems too close to not be related because we have Johnny Rockets, and they're set up like a 1950s diner. It's got to be the same corporate masters, right? Wouldn't you think? That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what we have here is Johnny Rockets.
yeah.
Johnny Rockets used to be one of our favorite places, but the couple we have here locally have really gone in the tank lately. My wife and I don't even go anymore. Wendy's, I think Wendy's is good. Again, they've got. I try and eat the grilled chicken sandwiches to try and stay at least a little bit healthy, and they have the best one in fast food as far as I'm concerned. I like their fries. They tend to get a little carried away at Wendy's a lot of times with the salt on the fries, but I like their fries. I also like the fact that I like diet sodas. I started drinking them years ago, when I was wrestling and stuff and trying to watch weight, but I actually got to where I prefer the taste now, and they have the Coke
Oh,
Zero, and that's one of my favorite
yeah.
diet soda drinks as opposed to Diet Coke, which is like, eh. So there's a lot of little things that are personal to me, but yes, I like Wendy's. Let me see. Chris says, last time I went to Wendy's, an employee was pleasuring himself in his car in the parking lot. No BS. You know what, Chris, though? That might make me more likely to go into the restaurant because I figure, okay, now you're dealing with him. I'm just gonna put it out of my mind that there in no way, shape, or form did he not wash his hands when he went back. So I'm going to say that now you're dealing with a nice,
Oh,
relaxed crew, somebody who's
yeah.
satisfied and happy because he doesn't have anything pent up. Yeah, I think that would be a plus. Kiba says, "Oh, bye guys. Remember, no matter what fast food joint like, you have to shout Mokuba. You have to shut Mokuba up first and win a children's card game before you eat." Well, thanks for being in with us while you could, Kiba. Yeah, those were the days. That was some good stuff. Shut up, Mokuba. What a brilliant voice actor. I hadn't thought about that in a while. Ty says, let's talk about the real problem with fast food places, where there is a long line and someone waits until they're ordering to figure out what they want. Oh, you're preaching to the choir there, Ty. Just little. I've always been big on that stuff. I've always tried to be polite to other people and have a little thought. Like a good example is, we have a little convenience store just down the block from us, so I'm in there all the time picking up this, picking up that. Now, if there's a line behind me, they'll ring out my stuff. I give them the money. Now, as I give them the money, especially now with COVID and people trying not to be on top of one another, I take my stuff and I move it down the counter. So when I'm handed my change, I can just take my change and get the hell out of the way and let the next person the next person step up. Then I can put my change away and then pick my stuff up and go. Little things
Oh,
like that. And
yeah.
just what Ty's talking about here, that shit drives me nuts. You stand there all that time. Did you not think when you got to the window they were going to ask you what you wanted? Or another one of my favorites is, and older people are the biggest from my perspective, the biggest villains here is you'll go into, like, again, we got a Dollar General right next to us. So you go in Dollar General, pick up a few things. You got somebody in front of you, got all their stuff on there. They're standing there watching as the cashier is ringing it all up. Boom, 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 boom. Puts it all in bags, totals it up. Okay, that'll be $26.57, please. Then they start looking for their money. My head almost exploded, and I have been known to say something. I would like to say that I'm the kind that can just keep it to myself, but I have looked at some of these old people and gone, "Oh, can you believe it? They're gonna ask you to pay for it now?" And typically the sarcasm goes right by them. They usually go, "Hey, yeah, who would have thought?" Oh, that's you. Yes, you're absolutely preaching to the choir on things like that. That drives me nuts. Have you ever tried a place called the Krusty Krab? No, but I want to, money in my mind. I want to. And again, doesn't sound a kelp burger doesn't sound like something I would like, but I just want to go there for the ambiance. Ooh, breakfast fast food wars. Good one, Ed.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what really surprises me? Guys, my favorite probably fast food breakfast place is Taco Bell. I mean, we're talking about Taco Bell in the lunch dinner thing with, my plain burritos and everything, but their breakfast is freaking fantastic. They have breakfast burritos and stuff that are absolutely delicious. It's Spaz Kids and both our favorites. And that's a relatively new arrival, but I'll take it over McDonald's, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, all of them, all day long. It's really good. Rosa says, food is food. There's fries, burgers, potatoes, Italian pasta, other foods. That's all I know from food. Oh, no, Rosa. But see, I'm a big fat man, and there. Oh, yeah. I measure every divining line between styles of foods. Oh, Wolverine, that's brutal. Ever have Ethiopian food? Neither have they. Oh, man. Krusty Bomb says, why is it called fast food? It's called fast food because you're supposed to eat it really fast. Otherwise, you might actually taste it. Not bad. I don't know why they call it fast food. Well, I shouldn't say that. It depends on the restaurant. I was going to say, it used to be, when I worked in fast food, they always, they took great pride in getting orders out as quickly as possible. We were timed and everything. And I see that's gone away, but that's not true in all of them, because like I say, our Burger King and our Wendy's, man, you'll pull in, and with everything being mostly drive-through now, it's like, oh shit, lines around the building, but 3-4 minutes later you're out of there. So that I can't even complain about that. Lick says, you guys ever heard of home cooking? Oh, and that's why it's so sad when I do have to have fast food and stuff, because my wife can freaking cook. Well, my wife's an Italian grandma. By law, they have to be able to cook. They're not allowed to be Italian grandmas unless they can. So yeah, my wife can really freaking cook.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot at all. I am the world's worst cook, you guys. Seriously. And I don't understand it. You get a recipe or something, it should just be, simply following directions, right? And I can do that. But I do everything it says, the way it says to do it, and shit never comes out right. The only thing I can make are grilled cheese sandwiches, because when Brax from the time he's been little, that's one of his favorite things. And I'm like, well, he's not going to not be able to have grilled cheese sandwiches just because his mom isn't home. And so I mess with it. I mess with different ways of doing it, buttering both sides of the bread and how I laid the cheese in there. And he'll tell you, I can make a grilled cheese sandwich now that comes out, and I won't even eat it, obviously. He'll get that shit away from me. But it will be perfectly evenly brown on both sides with the cheese just melted nicely. And that's it. That's the only thing I can make. Ty says, on that note, when you got time, you got to look at John Pinette, Get Out of the Line, a great comedian. I'll have to check him out, Ty, because I don't think I've heard that name. John Pinette? Yes, just Get Out of the Line. I think I know where we're going with that. And yes, that's that drives me nuts. That's just so fucking rude. Money in My Mind says there's an actual Krusty Krab in Chicago. I've heard there are some around. The cashier standing in a boat and everything, and a Rick and Morty restaurant / bar too. Really? Well, that's kind of cool. I didn't know there were Krusty Krabs around. But I've never been to one. I would love to go to some of the anime themed restaurants they have over in Japan. I want to go there so bad. I wonder if in my lifetime if will ever get the chance to go over to Japan, because there's so many things there I want to see now. Right now, I got to get down to well, again, we're gonna wait for, especially now the virus picking back up again, for things to calm down. But I got to get down to the Lower East Side where where you guys had told me that, I think it was Brother E first brought it up. There's that great anime shop that I didn't even know. All the time I spent down in New York City every weekend, I didn't even know it was there. I can't wait to get down there and check it out
Oh,
now. Philip
yeah.
says, I once had the misfortune of my mom order 2 combos. She only ate the fries for her, so I had to eat 2 double burgers with bacon and cheese, a fry, and 2 medium sodas. Never felt so stuffed. Oh, and that's I've been with you, Philip. That it seems to be the case for me, at least, mostly with fast foods. In relation to what Philip's talking about, I feel like every time I order it, and I don't know why, I feel like it is my duty to finish it all. Why? I mean, okay, so you threw out a few fries or something like that. I can't do it. And then you end up eating way too much of that greasy, nasty shit. And then I wonder why I sit there on the couch later going, oh, I really don't feel that good. And, and I'm in the bathroom every couple minutes, and my body's making these really, really grotesque sounds. But that seems to be with fast food more than anything else. If I go to a regular restaurant or something, I'm full, I'm like, boy, I just can't eat anymore. And you'll push the plate away. But you go to that stupid fast food joint, and your fries are in the top of your burger box there, and you're like, well, I'm not going to leave any. Yeah. In other words, I can sympathize, Philip. And believe it, when I worked at McDonald's, when I was like 15, 16, 17, the McDonald's I worked at out in California, we had a really good owner. As long as you were working or within a half an hour of your shift ending, you could eat all you wanted for free. I still remember, and I shit you not, and I was actually in good shape back then, and I would get 2 large fries, 2 quarter pounders, and a chocolate shake, and eat it all. And do it like almost daily. Lute says, how the fuck do you stuff that much into yourself? 1 double burger and I'm done for the day. I'm with him though, Lute. I can do that same thing. Cause it just seems like at the time it's going down too easy. And then later you're like, oh, what the fuck did I do? Yeah, I can identify, Philip. I get you. Oh, and yeah, and like he says, don't forget the 2 sodas, and that's that carbonation on top of the food. I had my best friend, Tom, and you guys would have loved him. He's a few years older than me. One of the few people of my generation that had a sense of humor very similar to ours. Unfortunately, passed away a few years ago. And one time we used to work together at the municipality I used to work for in the bus department. And one day we're sitting around there at lunch, and we're always thinking, I could tell you guys stories endlessly about the stupid shit that went on there, and I could tell you about the salesman that that pissed me off, and I kind of put his life in jeopardy. I probably wasn't that good a move, but anyway, we used to do a lot of stupid shit. So one day, my buddy Tom, he had a big belly. I mean, that's where we're both fat guys, but his was all in belly. He was a big beer drinker and everything. And one day he decided, so I wonder what will happen if I do this. So we had little cans of soda. It was like Sam's Club soda, and he had a root beer. So he shotguns a 12-ounce root beer, just slugged it down, and then he took his belly and shook it as hard as he could. He says, what'll happen if you shake it up once it's in there? I never saw an expression of pain on another human being's face like that where they didn't die. His eyes got like, he goes, holy fuck, I'm gonna fucking explode. He's going, it was one of the greatest things ever. And I'm trying not to laugh at him because he was in real pain, and his eyes are watering, and he's like, he couldn't find any position that would ease it. And he's just sitting there, he's like, I might fucking die. He's going, it was still one of the greatest moments of all time. And until the day he passed, we laughed about it. Well, unfortunately, we're thinking that even though it had been years prior, that whole root beer incident might have had something to do with the eventuality. Oh my God, it was it was just one of those things that, as painful as it was for him, it's one of the great memories that we had shared. But oh, that was, of all the stupid things we did, that was right up there. Oh, it was terrible. His face was, yeah, he was okay, Rosa, afterwards. I mean, finally it stopped. And I don't know clinically what that does, but I never saw an expression of pure agony like that from someone and had them survive it. And Tom was somebody, he had a decent threshold for pain or something. He wasn't a baby. And he just like, he goes, I'm gonna fucking die. He's holding his stomach. He's trying to get in positions to make it stop. He's standing up and sitting down and leaning forward. Oh, it was terrible. It was awful. Lute says, I have that morbid sense of humor where people in pain make it hard to hold back laughter. Well, it's true, Lute. Another time, Tom was our mechanic, and I used to assist him. I'm not a good mechanic, but good enough to assist him. We're working in the garage, and we had one of our big motor coaches, our tour buses, up on the lift. And Tom, I don't remember what it was cutting a piece off with a cutting torch. And he got it, and he made the final cut through it. And I was standing there, and I was talking to, we always had salesmen, and they're trying to sell us parts, this, that, and the other. And so the salesman's standing there, and he's talking to me. He's waiting for Tom to get done under there because he had to talk to Tom. And so Tom gets done cutting it off, and he takes the part down, and he didn't realize it had a sharp edge. But the part, if you dropped it, it would have damaged it. I think it was stainless, but it was thin stainless steel, and it was an expensive part. So now Tom's got it in his hands. He's running over to the workbench going, ow, ow, God damn it, ow, 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 it's cutting my hand. And so he runs it over there, and he's yelling the whole time, and he puts it down. And as he's running, the salesman that's standing there says, aren't you going to go help him? I said, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, do you hear him screaming in pain? If I go help him, I'm going to get hurt too. And that salesman, he thought that was the most disgusting, vile thing. He was really aghast. And again, Tom's sense of humor would fit all of ours. And Tom was like in full agreement. He goes, yeah, you don't touch that shit when you hear somebody screaming in pain. You don't want to get bled on. He goes, and that's it. He was so put off. He just like it. He was only half-hearted in his sales pitch afterward. I think he just wanted to get out of there. It's funny to see people get hurt. Johnny Knoxville, yeah, official MX. Those are some good days. That whole crew, those are some fun times. Jake says, my favorite fast food chain is Wendy's. I do like Wendy's, but I prefer to go to my local grocery store's deli hot case since they're actually cheaper than all the fast food places. Plus, their fried chicken's bomb. Very true here, too. We have a market chain, a grocery store chain. That's a good point, Jake, because the same thing. It's called Price Chopper here. And exactly the same, much more reasonable. And a lot of the food is really good. Yes, the fried chicken they have up there is good. They have bone-in chicken wings that are actually quite good. Even their pizzas aren't bad. Their pizzas, you can get a large. I mean, it's a good-sized pizza for $10. And they're good. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I didn't even think to bring them up. But yeah, I have to give old Price Chopper a little bit of a shout out. They've got a lot of good prepared foods. Chrome says, who knows what Tom had in his blood? That's right. And that's what I was telling this guy. He's like, you hear him screaming in pain? Why the fuck do I want to touch it? I don't know where the cutting part is. Well, we got enough time. If you want, I'll tell you guys a story. This probably wasn't one of my better moves when I consider what could have happened. We had a brake salesman. They used to come into our shop, and just like it sounds, he sold brakes for the buses. I never liked the guy. I've forgotten his name. I'm trying to think of it so I could tell you guys. I don't remember his first name. It was years ago. But I didn't like him to begin with. He was a Kabuto type. That's the best way I can put it. You guys know Kabuto? That was his personality, his demeanor. So I would, for the most part, with something like that, because I'm at my workplace, you're not trying to create an issue, I would just ignore him. So one day he comes in. Now, I would work in the garage with Tom, and I also had my bus runs to do. So this mechanic comes in, and or I'm sorry, mechanic. The salesman comes in, and I should have realized at the time, he came in and he said something, he patted me on the back saying hi. It's like, I should have realized that was suspicious anyway, because he knows I didn't like him. Well, I get out there and come to find out he'd been carrying brake parts, and he had brake dust all over his hand. And so when he patted me on the back, he thought that was hilarious. We wore light blue shirts, and I had that nasty stain on my back. Normally, if it was somebody I liked, got along with, I would have just been like, dick. But I hated that guy. So when I realized it, I wasn't happy. And the next time he came in, or actually it was that same time, because Tom told me about it later, he told Tom what he had done, because I'd left to go drive. And Tom says,
Oh,
he says, if I were you, I
yeah.
wouldn't do that. He says, I'm just telling you. He says, Rusty doesn't like you. He said, and he's not the kind of guy that you want to screw around with stuff like that. He said, I wouldn't do that stuff. And he goes, oh, come on. Am I supposed to be scared? Trying to be a man about it or whatever. But, so anyway, the next time I was in the garage and he came in, I reinforced that with him. I said, don't do that again. I said, I don't appreciate that. I said, I don't like you. I said, don't do that. Okay. So you would think that's good enough. I think what it was is he felt like if he didn't do something at some point, he was being a bitch. I don't know what his problem was, but it was probably a month or two later. He's back in the shop. I'm sitting in a chair. My buddy Tom was sitting at a desk. I'm sitting in a chair right beside the desk. He comes in and he goes, "Hey, Rusty, old pal," and he pats me on the back. I don't know if he had brake dust on his hands or not. I said, "You motherfucker." And I jumped up and I grabbed hold of him. When I did, he tucked his arms in like this. So I grabbed him right by the elbows and I picked him up. He wasn't a big guy. He's probably 170, 180 pounds. And I took him out through, I was taking him through a doorway and he puts his hands up. I said, "Move your hands." I said, "I'll snap your fucking arms off." And Tom's just sitting there laughing. And he moves his hands in and we had this big pit where you would in this pit, you would drive the buses over it, and then if you would go downstairs, rather than lifting the bus up, you went under it. The pits hadn't been cleaned in years. There was all kinds of oil and shit down in there. And I took him, and I swear to you guys, it's the truth, I held him over that pit. I said, "I told you, motherfucker, I don't like you. I don't want you touching me. If you ever touch me again," I said, "I'll fucking drop you in here." I said, "The only thing saving you right now is that I don't get a cramp in one of my arms." I said, "because you're going down." I said, "Don't fucking touch me." And he goes, "You got to stop this. You got to stop this. This is dangerous. This is dangerous." He goes, and I put him down. I said, "Listen, stay away from me." And I walked out and I thought, fuck, I'm gonna get in trouble here. But he was so concerned about his boss finding out that he was antagonizing people when he was supposed to be working on a sales job. He never said anything. And the best part was Tom. He was watching he was sitting there smiling. He's going, "I was kind of hoping that your arm would get that cramp or something." He goes, so that was the kind of stuff that used to go on in the old bus garage. Download says previous post. I worked at a lumberjacks chain restaurant for several years and became friends with one of the corporate inspectors. Some of the things he showed me of the other locations were downright disturbing. Oh, I probably wouldn't even want to know. Oh, I probably wouldn't even want to know. That would be frightening. All right, let me catch up. Wolfpaw says, "Would I move to Texas?" I have no meat. I used to be over in Texas a lot. I used to live in New Mexico. I used to be over in Texas a lot. If we moved, though, no, I don't want to go back southwest. I'd probably go to North Carolina if we got to move. Kaiser says, "Oh, there's a mecha anime themed restaurant in Japan. Can watch mecha anime. The place is surrounded by posters, mecha models, and figures. Hope to visit it one day." That's kind of cool. I'm not even into mecha per se, but that sounds kind of neat. I would definitely like to go over to Japan though and see some of those anime themed restaurants. That would be fun. God damn, that would be great. Hopefully Lix is saying hopefully he returns. Why? This AJ got bounced. Yeah, we'll see if he comes. We'll see if he's got what it takes to come back. Excuse me. Can we eat New Mexico again? Howard says. Jackson's taking your shirt off again. I think I've inflicted enough damage onto you guys' sensibilities for today. Oh no, it's Fernando Cruz. See, I want to make jokes, but again, this is just a pathetic loser who is just looking for attention, and so I can't in good conscience give him any. He's just got to go. I mean, there are some points where it's fun to make fun of somebody and how pathetic they are, and there are other times it's just like, it's just silliness. And I understand you need attention, Fernando, but you're gonna have to go get it someplace else. We can't help it that your parents hate you. I would imagine pretty much everybody else does too. You're gonna have to figure that out. We're not gonna be the ones giving you your attention. Nah, I don't even want to antagonize him, Trevor. It's just a, like I say, at that level of loser, we don't even entertain it. Let's see. Damn it, the fun's starting and I have to leave. Well, actually, I got to go now too. Guys, thank you for the stream. This was a blast. This was a fun conversation. Thank you very much for all your support in bringing to light and backing me up on the fact that clearly that Sexiest Man Alive vote was bullshit. I don't know who got in there and reconfigured the numbers. I don't know who got in there and tainted the ballot boxes, but clearly that was wrong on every level. And again, I will once more repeat my plea to Michael B. Jordan. I know you probably had nothing to do with the bad ballot count, but the least you could do is just admit it and say, thank you very much for those of you who voted for me, but we know that Curtis got more votes and I just don't feel right. That would be the right thing to do. I'm just saying. I think you can all agree with me. But because I feel I won, I think it's clear that I won. Today's sticky stuff, even though it's Wednesday, it's actually quite good sticky stuff because it's Sexiest Man Alive sticky stuff. That's right. It's right. It's a special collector's item because I don't care what they're saying on Twitter. I don't care what the official ballots say. We know I won Sexiest Man Alive this year. So it's Sexiest Man Alive sticky stuff. Get ready for this. You need to have your officially licensed sticky stuff fanny packs out and ready for this stuff. How often do I get elected Sexiest Man Alive? Well, once a year, because it's a yearly event. So here it comes. Sexiest Man Alive sticky stuff. Get ready for it. Pampu pampu, pampu pampu, pampu pampu, pampu pampu. Sexiest Man Alive sticky stuff for all of you. Isn't it sexy? Look at that sticky stuff. Sexiest Man Alive sticky stuff for all of you. Keep it. Well, set a little aside, sell it on eBay. I'm sure they'll have no problem at all with you selling my sticky stuff on eBay. Make yourselves a profit with it. I just like to, as Sexiest Man Alive, I like to be a giving sort. Giving. Because we'll bang, okay? Flashily like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, and hypersexually. Goosh, 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 goosh. Oh, goosh.